Damn, when the beat go, I felt that.
Hey, ooh, hey, ooh, yeah. Pull up to the zoo and then
Damn, when the beat go, I felt that.
hey, ooh, hey, ooh, yeah. Pull up to the zoo and then
Damn, when the beat go, I felt that.
Hey, ooh, hey, ooh, yeah. Pull up to the zoo and then
Welcome to the XFan show. I am Spurge. Arlington is on his way. You know, Arlington is always running late, but that's why you got to love the man because he's always late. That's why I love him. I don't know about you guys, but that's why I love Arlington. We break down week 6 with the St. Louis or with the UFL, all of that good stuff. What was the best game of the week? What was the worst game of the week? And all of that stuff. I think you guys are going to be shocked on what was actually the best game of the week and actually what was the worst game of the week. I think you guys aren't going to realize it. You know, you're going to think, oh, it was one thing, and it really wasn't. It was one game, but it really wasn't the best game of the week. And the one game that you probably think is the best game of the week is actually probably the worst game of the week. So that's the big question that you guys have to ask. And if you guys think you know what the best games of the week and the worst games of the week were, please shoot us a message. Shoot us a text now. Let us know what you guys think the best and the worst games of the week. And if I look at the standings, you know, Arlington with the Renegades, I went with the Battlehawks, so there's another win for me. We'll mark that one. And another loss for Arlington. Arlington went with the Showboats. That's another loss for him. Oh, and I went with the Roughnecks. Another win for me. We both went with DC. Well, we both lost there. I don't know why. And Arlington went with San Antonio. Another loss. And I went with Beham. So we sit at 15. I sit at 15 and 9. And Arlington sits at 11 and 13. As we all know, I am the smart one of this group. I am the more intelligent one of this group. But, you know, you're right. You're right, Chris. I am the best picker, and I am the what do you say? Whatever that word is. I am the man who knows it all. I am hardly ever wrong. It's just the way it is. Where Arlington is always like this.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
As much as I love the man, he kind of is a loser right now when it comes to UFL picking. If you really look at it that way. So it's going to be interesting to see what you guys. So right now I'm going to ask everybody that's in here, what do you think the best game of the week was? What do you think the worst game of the week was? Let's see what we say. The true voice of the UFL Spurge. Thank you, Mr. Denzel. I am the true voice of the UFL. Which is what I'm going to ask again, guys. Which game was the best and worst of week 6? That's the question we have to. Oh, see, I already spelt the word wrong. I'm doing it just to irritate Arlington now, people. And there he is. There he is. I spelt it all wrong. Just to irritate him, just to do it because I know it's going to get in his crawl. Here he is, the one and the only Mr. Arlington. Arlington, you do realize you are getting, I see it's your little niece.
Say hi.
Arlington, you do realize you are getting your butt kicked.
I do realize that. I probably do.
Oh, you do realize I went 3-1 and you went, again, 1-3, Arlington.
So which ones I got wrong?
You got the Renegades.
I got multiple.
Actually, Arlington, you went 0 for 4.
Did I? I got all 4
because you picked
wrong?
the Renegades, Showboats, DC, and San Antonio. So let me take that one
I didn't
back.
go for the upset.
You did, Arlington. You were 10-14. 10-14, bro. I love it. Arlington, you know I went 3-1, right?
It's cool.
Yeah, I know. Arlington, I said, as you see, I put it up there, and it's not, as our man, Mr. Denzel Voice says, Spurge is the true picker of the UFL, which is true.
I'm gonna
He's
let you
right.
have
I
it this
am.
week, man. I'm really gonna let
You don't
you
think
have
so?
it.
You don't think so?
We're gonna let you have it this week, man.
Hey, Arlington, we got to give a big shout out to a former show that we had the pleasure to work with called the A-Team with RC. They've been picked up by Pro Football Newsroom. So big shout out to those girls, those ladies. They've done hell of a lot of good work and everything in this world of spring football, and they've just done a damn good job. So a lot of credit to them, Arlington. A lot of credit to them. You know what I'm saying? What is up, Wyatt? How are you doing? Now, Arlington, should we get into it? Arlington, I think I want to do it differently this week, okay? All right? I want to do it differently this week on how we break these games down. We're going to do it a little bit different, people. And you guys are going to be surprised and shocked by this, okay? Arlington, I'm going to give you some numbers, okay? And then that's the game that I'm not going to tell you the game, right? But then I want you to break it down, okay? So, Arlington, I'm going to start from the least amount of numbers. We're going to start, in our opinion, here on the XFan Show, Arlington, the worst game to the best game, Arlington. Are you ready? Arlington, the first game, number 4. Okay? Game number 4 had 381 yards. Game number 2 had 490, or game number 3 had 491 yards. Game number 2 had 496 yards. And the best game of the week had 726 yards, the most total yards by any teams so far this year. Now, these are total yards so far in the UFL. Arlington, I said we're going to start from the worst to the last, right? So by those numbers, Arlington, can you pick the worst game of the week? By the numbers I just gave you. You got to unmute yourself, bro. You're muted.
Game 1 was the worst one of the week.
Are you talking the great St. Louis Battlehawks versus the Arlington Renegades was the worst game of the week? Arlington, you are absolutely right. It was the worst game of the week and the lowest scoring game of the week with 12-6. Now, Arlington, it's all in how you look at it. Do you look at it as it's a defensive battle, or do you look at it as it was how do you say, Arlington? Slugfest. You know what I mean? No, I'm only wearing this because my elbow, KJ, I'm only wearing this because my elbow is a little sore. So that's the reason why I'm wearing it. Arlington. So let's get to it. Let's get to the game that we have deemed the worst game of the week, which was the St. Louis Battlehawks versus the Arlington Renegades. Arlington, why was this the worst game of the week?
Not a lot of scoring.
No, not at all.
We did have another Hakeem Butler touchdown.
We did, but whoop-de-doo.
Stop hating on them.
I know, bro, but I'm just telling you. If you want, I will drop the people's elbow on you. Arlington, I mean, let's break it down. Luis Perez went 16 for 23, 145. Max Dugan, who we all said here in St. Louis and said, oh, Manny Wilkins is terrible. He's garbage. We got to get it. We got to get Duggan in there. We got to get Duggan in there, right? He went for a lousy 7-19, Arlington, with 93 yards and 1 touchdown. Are you listening?
Yeah.
Arlington, if you didn't want offense, then this was the game to watch because you got no offense in this game. With a total of, like I said, 381 yards, Arlington. Now, Arlington, let's even get into it some even more. So let's break it down by quarters.
Go ahead.
Because it even gets worse and more disgusting if you do it that way. Now, Arlington, this is the Friday night game, which we've seen. People are making such a big deal about how great the Friday night football game has been. But Arlington, we haven't broke over 1 million yet. Haven't broke over 1 million yet for a Friday night game. Haven't even peaked at over 1 million. Hold on, KJ. We're gonna explain it. Would you say a low-scoring game can theoretically still be a good game if the teams move up and down the field, but simply just can't score due to good defensive play? We're gonna explain it. You can, but there was no really moving the ball up and down the field. You only had the one big play where Butler scored the touchdown on the big long pass. That was it. The big play. I mean, you look at it like this, if you go through the first quarter, a total of 70 yards by Arlington and 17 yards by the Battlehawks in the first quarter alone. Only 34 rushing yards for Arlington and 6 for the Battlehawks. 36 passing yards for the Renegades, 11 passing yards for the Battlehawks. Is that really a defensive game, or were just these two teams so out of sync it wasn't even funny?
Listen, it's these things are defensive struggle, man. That's how I look at it.
Okay.
Or offensive struggle, I should say, in this case. And you would think that at this rate, the Renegades are high octane offense and they will be in sync, but just seems like in this case, they weren't.
No, neither one of these two teams were.
No.
None of these two teams were, Arlington. And I mean, I could even break it down even more because if you go by the second quarter, okay, are you ready, Arlington? Now, the second quarter was a little different for the Battlehawks. Guess what, Arlington? That's where the Battlehawks got all of their yards at, was in the second quarter when they went a total yards of 11 for the Renegades, 138 total yards in the second quarter for the Battlenecks, 7 rushing yards for the Renegades, 70 rushing yards for the Battlehawks, 4 passing yards for the Renegades, and 68 passing yards, which the 68 yards came on the one pass by Hakeem Butler. Go on, Arlington.
My question to you guys is, because Mike just put a comment up about prime time has not delivered prime viewership. Why?
No, it has not.
Why is that? A prime time slot on network TV, and I have explained it on previous shows on how a product like this UFL previously we spoke about why wrestling has taken that, and I get it, it's a niche, but it
so
goes
is
back to
this. So is the UFL.
yeah, because
The
it's
UFL's
football.
a niche. It's a no.
Because it's football.
It's not that it's football. It's just a niche fan base. We have talked about it time after time after time after time after time again, Arlington. What have we seen? In KJ, I get with the advertising. I know that we all say that, but let's really look at it realistically, Arlington. In KJ and everybody watching, you've had the Battlehawks who've been around since 2019. You've had the Birmingham Stallions who've been around since 2022, right? You've had the Roughnecks 2019, DC 2019. These are teams that have all been established. And what we have seen is that the viewership and the attendance have went down. It hasn't grown. It's the same 600,000 to 900,000 people watching it. In KJ, why is that? Why is it that they're replaying an NFL replay on a bar in an airport instead of a UFL game? Because the NFL is king. Unless you're a diehard fan of the UFL, nobody's watching. I know that we've all tried our best to get people and to bring people to the games, but nobody is watching. You missed some really good football this week. There was some really good football on Saturday and Sunday. Friday night, not so much. Saturday, Sunday, we had some great damn football. Really good football. You know, now Arlington, you're in the dome, okay? I mean, right. Like Michael says right here, it's prime time on a major broadcast television. Marketing or networking, it's weak viewership. You got to unmute yourself. Why are you muted?
Your favorite program has never seen anything under 7 figures. Your favorite program on television has never seen less than 7 figures.
Depending
scripted or unscripted.
Depending on which product you watch. If you watch AEW,
but see, they're on cable. We're talking about, like he said, major broadcast TV, Fox, CBS, CW. Okay, CW is the exception because they're catered towards younger people.
Mm-hmm. That is true. They are.
Whereas CBS, NBC, ABC, Fox, they're catered to you and I. And more adults are going to...
Keelan, stop. We had this talk last week. Let me ask Arlington.
That's an attendance thing. We're talking about viewership.
Arlington, I'm going to ask you again, right? You got tickets to the Cardinal game. You got tickets to the Battlehawks. And you got tickets to the Blues game. In the playoffs, right, Arlington? Which one are you going to... Out of those three, which one are you going to go to first?
If I have the money, I'm going to the playoff game.
Exactly. Because you don't get the playoffs that often, okay? You don't get the playoffs that often. So that's only 18,000 people that sit in that in Enterprise.
But that's not the topic here. The topic is viewership.
Right. We're talking about
not
TV,
about attendance.
We're talking about people at home watching TV.
And none of the shows that you've seen on those 4 major networks have ever slid below 1 million viewers.
Mm-mm.
And you get college football all the time, even on a Friday night, and nobody care about the matchup. But guess what you're doing? You watching it.
Mm-hmm.
You watching it.
I don't even like college football, but I'm going to tune in to watch on a Friday night.
That's my point. You go to these area bars. These area bars are like, I'm not gonna, if it's not gonna bring me in business, there's no point of me putting it on. If it's something greater than that, I'm going to place that. And I understand. I understand that for business purposes, but at the same time, if you're in a UFL city, don't you think you will want to place your UFL team on your screens so that people can watch it?
Correct.
If you're saying this is a niche group, everybody want to get an opportunity to do it. Yes, Keelan, Friday Night Football, you place it up there. Friday Night Football.
We're not bashing it. We're just saying
it's showing
not finding its footing.
Exactly.
That's all. That's all we're saying.
And I know they were hoping for bigger than this. I know they were hoping for bigger than this.
Listen, you're right. They were. And I mean, to be honest, this was such a disappointment because this game had so many implications. It's second place in Arlington. As I said last week, the Battlehawks need to completely win out. Even if DC loses a game, it still doesn't hurt them because now if they lose another game, it's going to hurt them, right? But we'll get into that in the second half. But Arlington, so this game, so we're classifying as the Battlehawks game and the Renegades game the worst game of the weekend. Okay. Now, Arlington, we have three more numbers. We have the 496, the 726, and the 491, Arlington. Which one do you think is the third? What is score of 26-6, Arlington? Which one do you think is the worst game? The third worst game of the week.
We have to go with Brahmas and Stallions.
Ding, 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 ding. You are right. They had a total of
26-3 score.
Right. No. Oh, yeah, 26-3. My bad. I reread it. You know my dyslexia.
Read down at the bottom. Brother.
I know. So 491 total yards in this game, right? To be honest, this game on paper should have been a lot closer.
Don't put that comment up. Don't put that up. Do not put that comment up. I ain't got nothing to do with that.
Got nothing to do with that. Anyways, this game on paper it should have been a lot close. The score should have been a lot closer than what it was.
The score says, and you know what? That is the most.
But it really wasn't if you really look at it. I mean, here's the funny part. Are you ready?
Yeah.
The Brahmas in the first quarter outplayed the Stallions 86-45 total yards. They had less rushing yards at 11-27, but they had more passing yards with 75-18. But guess what they couldn't do, Arlington? What they've been able to do all year. Score points and kick field goals. Score points and kick field goals. The second quarter, a little closer, 86-124, right? Okay. 7 rushing yards for the Brahmas, 25 for the Stallions. 79 passing yards in the second quarter to 99 passing yards. But again, wait. The Brahmas got a field goal, Arlington, to make the score 6-3. Yay for you.
You know what that reminds me of, man? You know what that reminds me of, dude?
What?
Reminds me of the UFL championship last season.
Exactly. But Arlington, here is the most amazing part. Are you ready? In the end of the first half, it was 177 or 172-169 total yards. San Antonio over the Stallions. 18 rushing yards, 52 rushing yards for Birmingham, 154 passing yards for Birmingham or San Antonio to 117. But here's where it gets you, Arlington, as you dig deeper. In their home city of only about 2,500 fans that actually showed up to this game, they had 5 penalties for 26 yards to the Brahmas, 1 for 5. That's the first half.
It's a happy dance. They're doing happy.
Right.
They get happy
now,
all the time.
Arlington, are you ready? It was 15 minutes and 17 seconds time of possession for San Antonio to 14:43 to the Brahma, to Birmingham. But as Kenny says right here, Birmingham definitely pulled away in the second half, Arlington. And I'm just going to go to the second half. You ready, Arlington? By the end of the second half, it was 31 total yards for the Brahmas and 160 yards for Birmingham. 6 rushing yards for San Antonio, 32 rushing yards for the Stallions, 25 passing yards for the Birmingham or San Antonio, and 128 passing yards by the Stallions.
That's god awful, man.
And that was the Sunday night primetime game, which actually did pretty good in the ratings, to be honest. Now, Arlington. Now, here's where it's going to get. So, I mean, in this game, Arlington, why did it make it the third worst game of the week?
you know, looks can be very deceiving, man. It can be very deceiving how that game was played. And you would think a 26-3 thing was just a massive, just a blowout, ridiculous time that, what's wrong with San Antonio? And that's what I said after that game was over. What's happened to the Brahmas? And my biggest thing is they have a hard time getting into the red zone, man. The red zone just is like this.
Big time, baby. Big time.
And basically they being told,
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
I mean,
that's really what it is, Now, Arlington, this is where it's going to get a little deceiving, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because now we only have 2 games left, Arlington, a 496 and a 726 total yards.
726?
726, the most yards scored.
You mean the most yards gained?
Game. Okay. Total most yards in a game yet to the Battle Hawk or to the UFL, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, Arlington, the scores were 38 to 14 and 21 to 20. You notice I threw that.
My heart wants to say what the best game of the week was, and I really want to put that out there.
Well, let me go. You did the last 2. You did the 3 and 4. I'll do 2 and 1. Okay. And I know you're going to agree with me, but the second best game of the week was the DC Defenders losing to the Michigan Panthers, even though they scored 700. They had 726 total yards
on both sides
for the entire game. Bryce Perkins literally just showed out why he is the front runner for the MVP in this league.
Player of the week again, man. So
right. And it showed if Mike Nolan would have been intelligent when they played the Battle Hawks instead of doing the 2-player system, they would have beat the Battle Hawks because they handily beat DC. In my opinion, right now, the Panthers are the best team in the league.
What I'm going to add to that is the simple fact of, as much as we sit here and we're saying Bryce,
mm-hmm.
Jordan is right behind him. Crazy as kept. I know it don't look it, but the last couple of weeks, Jordan has at least threw over 200 yards and got at least a touchdown or 2 in each of those games.
Now, Arlington, I got something for you. You ready?
Okay.
So, we have a lot of people that watch our show that always send us information throughout the show, right?
Hi, Mr. McCrane.
Oh, Arlington, there's a thing called the WNBA preseason going on right now, right?
Geez. Oh, no, you're going to really do this? You really going to do this right now? You're really about to do this? I cannot believe you're doing this right now.
there was a certain game that peaked at 1.6 million.
I knew it. I knew you was gonna go there. I knew you was going.
Averaged 1.3 million. They didn't even play their game in their home city. They moved it to a different state, sold that arena out.
They did.
It still averaged 1.3 million viewers.
That's mean. That's mean, brother. That's mean.
Which was Caitlin Clark's return to Iowa against her arch enemy, Angel Reese.
No.
That wasn't against Angel Reese? Oh, what
No.
team? What was it? What game was it?
They played against Team Brazil.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. My bad. But, dude.
But still, I get where you were going. You're mean for that. You're mean for that comment, man.
How am I mean, Arlington? It's true. It drew 1.3 million. 1.3 million.
So wrong.
Is it really wrong?
KJ says MV Perkins needs to be the next shirt in the UFL.
I agree.
I'm
Arlington,
with that.
am I wrong or am I right?
Yeah, in this case, you're
this
correct.
This is the WNBA. Arlington, I know that you've had a lot of conversations about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese on other shows that you've done, right?
Yes.
But I mean,
it's going to happen again. So
she's not the best player in the WNBA. She just happens to be the most polarizing player
and the most marketable.
And the most marketable. And they drew 1.3. And like Michael Lathrop says, who sent me over the quote, they peaked at 1.6. I mean, come on. So Arlington, let's get into this game, because if you wanted an offensive game, which the score does not reflect at all, if you wanted an offensive game, this was the game, because a total net yards of 3, just a little,
sir. Dude, you talking about a 3-score game?
Listen. Just a little.
It was a laugher. We all know
it. Sabrina says it's more women on the
earth. Football, though. The women love football, so why are they watching?
See, now KJ says easy to fix that. Market the UFL to black women viewers or get bigger name players. Either one of those would fix that problem. You're right. It probably would.
What you mean by that?
Yeah, please explain on that one. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think probably more males watch the WNBA than women.
Remember, there was a time when Lifetime had more male viewership than the women.
Well, yeah, because we were just perverts because we wanted to see Candace Burke on there all the time.
Black women, though?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, the WNBA is marketed towards black women, is it not? It was. Was it not?
But it was just women, period.
It could be just women, period. I don't know. I don't watch the WNBA. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not saying nothing bad about it. I'm just not a fan of it. That's all.
Explain, Kenny. I need an explanation.
What is this one right here? David Silva said the WNBA's best demographic of viewers is men over 50. Okay.
David Silva.
I don't know who David Silva is, but UFL Fan Zone. But let's get back to the game, Arlington. For being such a lopsided game on the score, all right, KJ explains, I bet the percentage is higher for black women viewership. Okay. All right.
Please, thank you for explaining that.
I get what he's saying now. I don't think he was meaning it in the other way.
In a demeaned way.
Right. I don't think he was. All right, Arlington. So let's get to it. You know, you're talking 38-14, right? DC had 325 total yards. The Panthers were 401 total yards. DC had 75 rushing yards. The Panthers had 213 rushing yards. The defenders had 250 passing yards. We didn't say that. We're not saying that.
We didn't even say that.
We didn't even say that. We didn't even say. Oh, he said
I
Adam.
just wanted to know what you meant.
No, we were just wanting to know what you meant, KJ. We
Weird.
didn't say you were
Weird.
racist. We know that. No, it's all good. It's all good, UFL fan zone. We didn't say you were racist. We were just wanting it to explain why you said it was. We were saying if people could
He didn't like my face.
misconstrue it that way.
He didn't like my face. I'm telling you, that's what it was. Because I had a look.
Right, yeah. I think he was like, wait, why would Arlington think that? To where am I at? Passing yards, 250 for DC.
Yes.
And
The
108.
rushing attack.
Oh, the rushing attack was unbelievable. Unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, Bryce Perkins played out of his mind. He showed why he is the MVP of this league. I mean, what else can you say about it?
You love it, but you hate it at the same time. You love it because these guys are going to get opportunities. We're looking at opportunities to play in the NFL, but you hate it because you would love to see him come back again and repeat the same, try to repeat the same season. That's always been my biggest gripe with spring football and the transition to the NFL. Like I would love, because Bryce Perkins will be considered a star in the UFL because of his arm and his legs. Like that is somebody you could literally bank off of.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to deal with fallen stars. You can deal with new stars.
Exactly.
Never heard of, and bring him as that top guy. Man, I literally, if the UFL was literally in a right place, he would be getting $1 million at least or something off of him right now.
Well, Arlington, like we said in the beginning of the year, who our player to watch was Bryce Perkins.
Exactly.
Was Bryce Perkins. You know what I'm saying? And look, the UFL fan zone right there is smart. What are you saying? The biggest play of the year is here. Danny Edeling getting hurt, and here comes Bryce Perkins back to the back-to-back offensive player of the week. I mean,
haven't he won like 3 times in a row?
He might have. He might have. You know, but that is our number 2 game of the week. In Arlington, our number 1 game of the week, which I was at.
It was the game you attended.
See, okay, so Kenny's explaining a little more. He goes, I think by default, it is therefore more appealing to that demographic is my only point. Okay, I get it. I get why, because it's more African-American women playing that sport, so you could see it being marketed and demographic more towards that. I get that. I get why you would say that. Does that make more sense now, Arlington? With what he says there? Yeah. KJ, trust us. We love you, bro. We know you ain't no racist. We love you, bro. We were just wanting you to explain so no other idiots would think you were. That's all. Am I right, Arlington? All right, unmute yourself. Now, Arlington.
I was having a little trouble here, if you get what I'm saying.
I know. The game of the week is the Showboats versus the Houston Roughnecks. This game was so close in everything. This was everything you would want in a game. Clean your glass. Clean your glasses, A-Train, goofy eyes. Oh, yeah, see? So right here, yes, he has won it 3 times, Arlington. Bryce Perkins has won it 3 times. Arlington, you're talking a total net yards of 287 for the Showboats to 209 to the Houston. 82 rushing yards. 82 rushing yards for Memphis. 67 for Houston. Total net rushing yards, total net passing 205 to 142. Arlington, you want to talk about offense and defense? This was the game that had it all. It had offense and it had defense. This game did, just let me look here, Arlington. We'll just even go to defensive stats. For tackles, 67 to 66. Memphis led by 1, right? Solo tackles, 34 for Memphis, 47 for Houston. Tackles for losses, 2 for Showboats, 5 for Houston. I mean, Arlington, what more could you ask for from a game? And like Sabrina says, Jalen played a great game and all of that. I mean, red zone attempts. They were 2 for 3 in the red zone for Memphis, 1 and 2 for Houston, 4 for 12 from the first third downs, and 4 for 13. Now, what hurt Houston was the penalties. They were 6 for 50. Hey, UFL fan zone. We've been asking that for a long time. We've been asking that back in the Vegas days. Why the hell people been sleeping on Jalen as long as he has? And Arlington could have got to talk to Mr. McClennan, but he decided not to answer his phone.
That was me? Really?
Did you not answer your phone?
No, I did not.
Because if I'm not mistaken, Arlington, let me find it. Arlington, who's that guy?
Jalen McClendon.
Who's he standing there with?
Your bum self.
That's right. And it was so great talking to him because, I didn't even recognize it was him because, you see these guys in their helmets all the time, right? And Mr. Predator goes, "Hey, man, there's your guy over there." I'm like, "Who?" He goes, "Jalen McKinnon." I'm like, "Bullshit." He's like, "Dude, he's right there." And I look, I'm like, "Oh, my God, it is."
So
I
you
walked
marked
over.
out.
Oh,
so
dude,
you marked
I did.
out pretty much.
Dude, we probably sat there and had a good 10 to 15-minute conversation. You're right, KJ. I did ask Coach. I did get to talk to Coach Johnson. You're right. He did have some picks during the camp, which he did. But at the same time, he is clearly the better player in the game. And that's all that should matter is when it comes game time, who is the better player? Now, look, let's not get it wrong. Memphis has lost almost every single game by a point or a possession, if I'm not mistaken, right, Arlington?
Yeah,
Memphis is not a bad team. Not a bad team at all. And I think they've also found their quarterback would Dresser win. And Dresser and Jonathan Adams are really starting to catch on with each other and are really starting to do it. It was funny, Arlington, because when I was doing the press conference there in Houston, Coach Johnson walks in all dampered up. I mean, he is decked out to the nines, right?
Right.
And we're waiting on Jalen, and I was like, "Man, Coach, you're looking kind of damper there." And he points back. He's like, "Hey, it's all because of my wife. Miss Angel was back there. She dresses him before the press conferences." And I agree. The roller coaster, and I think that's what's going on in San Antonio too. Is the roller coaster of the coaches and all of that stuff, right? Is what's hurting them. So Arlington, you look like you got your hands full. So let's get going. Should we go to our power rankings, Arlington?
Yep.
All right, let's go.
I'm laughing at my niece because she decided she wanted to eat something hot, and guess what?
I know. So let's hurry up and get this over with, Arlington.
It's all right. It's all right.
Well, no, we'll get it. We'll get it over with, so you can spend some time with your niece, Arlington. We're gonna go to our power rankings, right? Before we break our games down, Arlington. I think we can agree who is last still. It's the Brahmas.
It's the Brahmas. It's the Brahmas always.
I mean, it's the Brahmas. They're the losers. Arlington, I mean, Memphis is really showing a lot, and they're doing a lot. But I still have to put Memphis at number 7.
Memphis?
Yeah, I still have to put the Showboats at number 7.
Yeah. I'll do the same.
Yeah.
And
what is this? WNBA only averages 500,000 in viewership in 20. We're not arguing that point, are we, Arlington? We're not arguing the point that it only averaged 500,000 with before Caitlin Clark. That's not the point we're arguing. What's up, Leo? That's not the point that we're arguing. What we're saying is you have established teams that have been around for 5+ years. And only thing we're seeing is attendance, viewership, and all of that dropping. That's all we're saying, Johnny. That's it. We're not bashing the league. We want the league to succeed. But we're just saying that's what we see. This is a niched audience. As much as I hate to say it, we are a niched audience. The UFL is a niched audience. It needs to improve. I don't know if marketing is what helps improve it or what, but it needs to improve. But it's like Arlington said earlier in this show. You need to start building stars. Guys like Bryce Perkins, Wes Hills, guys like that, Jonathan Adams. Forget trying to get these, is it? That's
y'all going to listen to me one day. One day you're going to listen to me about that. You're going to listen to me.
I mean, look, right here, like Leo says, because there's a disconnect between the league and the fans, and that's it. I don't think
we know this already.
Right. But Arlington, again, you got to quit with the excuse of it needs to start earlier, because guess what? The NHL ain't making excuses for if they have a lower attended game, if there's other sports playing at the same time, are they?
Well, they've been established for quite some time, man.
Again, though, what I'm saying is you don't see these other leagues and these other fans making excuses for lower attending games during seasons while there's other teams playing. You don't, do you?
But you see a bunch of teams outside of them 4 major sports, they end up folding after a while.
That is true. Okay, you're right.
All right. So why are we sitting here saying that, man?
But
you
look,
about the 4 major sports, we talking about other things.
But even when the league started the week after Super Bowl in 2023, what was happening in Arlington? We saw the attendance drop. We saw the viewership numbers drop. Did we not? Yes. And it's right here. We have great rivals, but what we need are stars. We need to keep touting. It was funny because Coach Turner in the interview had a really good comment. And we put it up there, and Amanda from the A team asked the question. You guys can go and listen to it. Coach Turner said this in the interview. If the NFL came calling, dress or win in Jonathan Adams, they would walk out at halftime to go play for the NFL. Walk out at halftime. Imagine that, people. You have your players that are willing to walk out at halftime to go play for the NFL. I get that this is the league of opportunity, but we need to quit saying it is, and we need to start pushing and bumping these guys up. That's what we need to start doing as fans.
Okay.
Yes.
You know how we say you got stars, and I want to see more stars in it. We do have them because they've been around.
You're right. UFL Fan Zone, you're right. Yeah, money does talk. So,
but at the
Arlington,
same time, I'm thinking about this. The more
go
that
ahead.
Doing a deep dive in it, like we got stars now. We got Travis, we got Peter, we got Hakeem Butler. I know Jacob Sailors is around. Kalen Balaj, who is now out for the
season,
out for the rest of the season. Luis Perez. We talk about him. Jordan Teamu, right? We got now Bryce Perkins, who is the new, I would consider the new kid on the block, right? You got EJ Perry that coming in from the USFL. Those guys that are getting opportunities to do these things, not to mention Frank Genda, who was the defensive player of the year in the USFL, right? And so, and then even in the UFL, like these are stars. We can bank around those. And they can be pushed. And not just having them in just camps, trying to make a team, you already have them established as a star. That's why we asked the question in the past, would it be best if you're a star in the UFL, or would you rather just be 4th or 5th on the depth charts in an NFL camp? I get it. Everybody wants to dream to the NFL. Everybody wants that. Some figure this is their last shot at trying. And that's my thing.
But Arlington, let's really look at it, though. Let's really look at it, okay? We're seeing the decline in football, even in America. We're seeing the decline in kids signing up to play football. You look at it, it is failing. The decline is happening. Not as many kids are signing up to play tackle football as they used to, right?
Okay.
Not like they used to, okay? It's falling. It's falling. But, okay, I understand that the labor, but guys, again, go back and look in 2023 when they started this season right after, okay? The attendance dropped by 2% across the board.
And the reason that was the case, man, and the reason that's the case is because they had to go back and trust in this league again because it went away.
I get it.
2.5 years. It's about trusting that again. That was the issue. I'm like, I sit here all the time, and I was like, man, if that XFL 2020 season really got a chance to take off, I know we sit here and say that it may not have been the case, but damn well they were going to do whatever it took to make sure that thing continued to go the way that it was going.
I don't listen, Arlington, again, I'm telling you now. Hey, and you know what? Maybe we are raising a bunch of softies in this country. Maybe we are. Who knows? Arlington, again, I don't think it would have mattered with everything that Vince McMahon was going through. I really don't think it would have mattered. I think the 2020 would have ended up failing because of all the BS that Vince McMahon was going through. Plain and simple. Plain and simple.
But that
you know what I mean?
Was just...
It was a great league. It was a great game. And there's a lot of great comments on here. And I mean, you can't even get to them to enough. Like Leo says right here, we need to see and know that the people are working for the benefit of their own teams and screw everybody else. You're absolutely right.
I really hate that the UFL leadership removed itself from the fans. It's like saying, you guys, we just putting together a league.
Here, Arlington. So this is from Front Office Sports, right? And again, Michael Lathrop sent this over to me, so I found it, and I'm going to pull it up real quick. And I want to show you something, Arlington.
Well, you didn't find it. You got stuff sent to
you. I mean, listen, if you really think they're going to expand, that's cool. But if you sit here and you look at everything, I don't see how they can expand and justify expansion. I really don't.
Expansion doesn't do anything to help the causes.
You're right. And you're right. We did get screwed because of COVID. Now, Arlington, right here. So this is from courtesy of Front Office Sports. It says ESPN income down as subscribers fall, but flagship launch looms as expectations continue to climb for ESPN's forthcoming direct-to-consumer streaming service, which we know now that streaming numbers are included in the TV ratings because Nielsen includes them. So the ratings we're seeing are the actual numbers that we see. What does he say? I think having such a powerhouse leader as Oliver Luck at least strategically had the highest chances of bringing in outside financial investments to counter your argument. You know what? Listen, again, you could be right. But again, it's wish in one hand, crap in the other. Which one's going to fill up? We saw what happened with the WWE when Vince got in trouble with all these allegations. He had to sell off all that stuff, didn't he? Had to sell all that off.
You think he wouldn't have done that with the XFL?
I'm not saying. Did I say he wouldn't have? I'm just saying there could have been a stink on it, because football, as we see with the IFA and all of these other leagues, arena leagues that fold constantly, the IFA, the CFL. Football is a very expensive sport to run, is it not?
Very much so.
That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying. Now, so ESPN's parent company, Disney, has plenty of optimism for next year, despite raising economic headwinds, but the near term is still somewhat choppy for the sports giant. Disney said Wednesday that it grew its revenues by 7% to $23.6 billion in the second fiscal quarter.
What does that mean for the sports consumer?
Ooh, well, Arlington, we're sitting here listening on how the UFL is losing money left and right, right? That's why I do it. That's why I do it, KJ, all the time. Yet you have a company who has $23 billion and has an operating income of $4.4 billion and is also raising their projected earnings within their sports division by 18%. So you're telling me that Disney, who is one of the owners of this league, cannot dump money into the UFL? Is that what you're telling me? When you have a team, hold on.
I don't even.
When you have an owner that is investing 18% of its $4.4 billion into its sporting division, and you cannot invest money in a league that you own, that you partially own, what does that tell you? What does that tell you?
Disney? You said Disney? I'm going to go back and see it real quick.
I'm going to pull it right back up.
No.
No.
You don't even have to do all of that, sir.
Okay.
Look up one thing. And
Go ahead.
If it says from their parent, if they own it, then I will agree with what you're saying at this very moment. Parent company, National Spring Football League Enterprises, Fox, Redbird, Dwayne, Danny. That means that ESPN has nothing.
Hold on.
Ownership.
Hold
no
on.
ownership.
Hold on.
Zero.
Hold on. Are you ready? Google what companies Disney owns.
You talking about $7?
Oops.
You talking about $7? Oh, you talking about Disney owning Fox? That's crap.
Yes, Disney owns Fox assets.
That's crap. No. I refuse to believe it. No. No.
He owns the sports division of Fox.
No way. No. Whatever, man. I don't believe it. I don't believe, man. I don't believe. No. Yes, UFL fans. We had a kickoff return, kick 6 for 108 yards. It didn't
That
make
was
ESPN
cool.
top play. You want to know why? Because it is not a part of the It's not a part of the highlights. It's no point. Remember, they did it in 23 just to appease us.
That is true.
You remember that?
True.
They did that just to appease us.
That is true. I never said ESPN. Hold on. I never said ESPN had any ownership of the UFL. No, I did not.
You said Disney.
I said Disney. I said Disney.
ESPN and Fox.
I said Disney. That's all I
just
said.
Like Seth Rollins. He said it all the time.
All right, let's get to our power rankings. All right, we're at number 6, Arlington.
All right.
Who do we have for number 6, Arlington?
The Arlington Renegades.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to agree with you, and I'm going to put the Renegades at number 6.
Therefore, they dropped a few spots.
They dropped a few spots. I know you didn't say it, but Arlington said I said it, KJ. Arlington said that I said that Disney, that, you know. Oh, you're going, UFL Fan Zone says Houston 6. Actually, that's who I have in the number 5 spot is the Roughnecks. Because they're back to back.
Yes, Leonardo, we know. The Broncos.
Arlington, who do you have as number 5?
The Roughnecks.
Yeah, okay. So we're so far we're in agreement, right? All right. Now, Arlington. Here we go. We're going to the top 4, right?
Interesting.
No, it's really not. I can tell you who number 4 is. It's the St. Louis Battlehawks. St. Louis Battlehawks. Oh, yeah. Dude, come on. 12-6. 12-6.
Because of the game.
You had no offense. Nothing. Would you disagree or not?
Fine.
Okay. Battlehawks at number 6 or number 4.
Fine.
I would put. Actually, I'm gonna no. I'd put Battlehawks at number 3.
Fine. I'll put the Battlehawks
and DC at number 4.
I'll put the Battlehawks at 4.
You'll put the Battlehawks still at 4? Okay. Then who's your number 3?
DC.
All right, DC.
No.
Well, DC lost.
No.
Who's your number 3 then?
My number 3 is the Birmingham Stallions.
You're going to put DC at number 2?
No, they were at 4.
No, you had the Battlehawks at 4.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Oh,
I said
DC's
no.
4. I'm sorry. DC's 4.
Okay, so yeah, you have DC at 4. No.
Battlehawks at 3.
Okay, so then we're both right. Okay, so DC, Battlehawks, okay.
I knew I was missing somebody. I'm
putting Birmingham. No, you can't put DC at number 2 because of how bad they got beat by the Panthers. You can't
2 is
do
Birmingham
that.
And 1 is Michigan.
Yeah, and then Beham is 2. So there we go. We have that out of the way, right?
So we said Michigan is number 1.
We got
Birmingham
the Panthers
is
at number 1, Beham at number 2, Behawks at
DC
number 3,
3.
DC at number 4, Roughnecks at number 5, Renegades at number 6, Showboats at 7, and unfortunately for Leo, his Stallions.
And all of my people in San Antonio that has been so wonderful. Yet you guys still stay.
Yes, you're right. DC did beat Birmingham. But did DC win this week? And they only scored 14 points. They had a miserable game.
So this is what I want to know about the Brahmas. How in the world did they literally fall from grace?
Well, that's because, Memphis head coaching carousel. Head
And then
coaching
you lost your
carousel,
offensive
bro.
coordinator, right? Right. You lost your offensive coordinator.
Yeah. Possibly the best offensive coordinator in the league.
I would love to see him in a head coaching spot
Somewhere, right?
That we goofy for putting St. Louis over DC. For this week, they going over there.
Mm-hmm. All right, Arlington, are you ready? So let's do our picks.
Go ahead, screenshot it.
What?
The y'all goofy fans team over DC. Screenshot that.
No, we put the Battlehawks over DC.
But that's the thing. He's like, y'all are goofy for doing that.
Yeah. The Wade Phillips was a huge loss. All right, Arlington, week 7. Here we go.
Matchups.
You gotta,
DC.
Arlington, you gotta do something here, bro, because you're getting your ass kicked.
Watch this. I got this one. I got this one for the rest of the week.
First game on Friday night, DC versus the San Antonio Brahmas.
Really? DC?
I was gonna say. All right. So, Saturday, the noon game, the Michigan Panthers versus the Arlington Renegades.
Michigan.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that one.
Mother's Day. I got the Mother's Day games.
Well, hold on. I'm agreeing with you on that one, bro. Then you got the Roughnecks versus Birmingham. That's going to be a good game. As somebody said in here earlier, right? Birmingham does not have a QB. Kenny. No, UFL.
They don't. Zone. They just added Jalen Horton from Arena Football 1 to their roster now.
You know what? Arlington, as much as I hate to say it.
Well, no, you don't.
I'm going to make the Predator couple happy. And I'm going to make Kenny happy. I'm going to make Big Rig happy.
Let's go.
But, yeah, bro, I'm going with the Roughnecks.
Roughnecks over Stallions, baby. Let's go.
You're doing it too, huh?
I was doing that. I was doing that one. Yes, indeed.
And, I mean, we got the Battlehawks.
Even though they won, they're in disarray right now.
That is true. They are. And we got the Battlehawks versus Memphis.
Said Brahmas have DC's number. That's also true, too.
That is also true.
They beat them last week. I might have to read it.
Ross, it's call is the law. Call's the law. Hint, AJ McCarron is available.
Do I want to switch my pick?
For what?
Brahmas in DC.
Well, you still can.
Oh, man. No, they want to avenge that loss. They really want to avenge that loss.
Yeah, that's what I'm going. Jalen McClellan over Beeham.
All right, the last one is St. Louis against Memphis. Come on now.
I mean, listen, Memphis has been playing good.
You gonna sit there and lie to yourself? Go ahead, go for it. Go for Memphis. Even though you got a Battlehawks shirt on. And
I'm going Battlehawks because I have the great Bill. I have the great Bill Alexander coming on tomorrow for B-Hawk Live.
Hmm?
You going B-Hawk? You going Battlehawks?
Absolutely.
All right. There we go. Arlington.
We got the same picks.
We are the same picks. So there you go. I know, right?
Some tell me that Friday night game, I'm going to regret it. I'm going to regret that one, man.
Hey, guys.
Lose it twice.
Go to our Twitter page at XFan Show on Twitter because we will be doing live tweets of the game as we have been the entire season. So go right there, twitter.com, XFan Show, to get our tweets and all of that good stuff. And also go to our Twitter page, and you can see all the press conferences right there on our Twitter page. Like and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitch, all of it, YouTube, all of that. Okay, X. You know, Arlington, let's see what the new Gronk has to say about us, shall we?
Huh?
You know how they have the Gronk thing, right? On your Twitter page.
That's right. They do.
So let's see what Gronk just happens to say.
You going to pull it up?
I am. I'm going to do it right now. Hold on. Okay, here we go.
There
so we're going to go to Gronk. And here is what Gronk says about us.
No, I wish you would have did it on. You can't do it on your computer. You can't do it on the computer.
Can I? Let me check real quick. Oh no, hold on. Whoa. Let me check. I should be able to.
Sabrina said Jalen for the rest of the year until they play St. Louis in the championship game.
I can. All right, here we go. Wait,
all right,
we're gonna go here. Hold on. I got to get to our main page.
I'm curious, man.
I am too. Let's see what Gronk says about us, shall we? Let's see if you guys agree with this. Well, see, I can't. Why won't it let me get to our profile?
All right.
Hold on. I can't use it on my computer.
Because you're too slow.
No, it's not letting me go to it, bro. It's only letting me log out of it.
All right. So what do you want us to say about XFan?
Hold on. Here we go. I'll do it this way. Here's what I'll do. You ready? I'll go to Gronk. Okay, now.
I'm here.
Hold on. XFan show. There we go. I'm searching it. No, it says it couldn't find anything about us.
Oh, you want to bet?
Well, I'm doing it on our computer. So what does it say? Oh, what does it say right there, Arlington?
The XFan Show is a YouTube-based program focusing on the United Football League, offering fans weekly breakdowns, rankings, and discussions. Hosted by personalities like Spurge and Train, it covers topics such as the best UFL teams, player performances, and fan comments. Recent episodes like XFS After Dark air live on X at times such as 9 p.m. Central, with post-promoting discussions on team rankings and mid-season analysis. For more details, you can check out their YouTube channel or follow XFan Show on X for live event schedules.
Now, what I have is on my Gronk right here on my phone, it says the XFan Show is the pulse of the UFL fandom, hosts electrifying after dark shows with the A-Train and Dirty at XFan Show, passionately uniting spring football fans while hopping epic games and bold predictions. The XFL Fan Show hypes UFL trades, ranking teams, and cheering HBCU quarterbacks while hosting the SFL Show After Dark. The X community actively engages with the XFan Show, praising their podcast with guests like Howard Balzer and rallying fans for the Battle Hawk battle games. So there you go. We're X famous.
We need that heartbeat. We need that
That's
heartbeat.
Right. Arlington, do we got anything else? Because I'm old and I have to go to bed.
Me too, man. I'm getting old myself. But we're grateful that everybody tuned into our train wreck. And guess what? We love continuing this train wreck every single week. And we do it in different ways. Every single time, man.
Do we?
The show can be the same each week. But guess what? Y'all still keep coming back and y'all like us.
Actually, the show is not. You want to know the funny thing, Arlington, is this show is never the same week after week. Can you all send me autograph stuff?
Hey, we're gonna have to do that
whoa,
one day.
Whoa, buddy. Dirty went 3-1 this week. 3-1 this week.
Nobody care about his stupid picks.
But Arlington, the one thing you guys can get from us is you'll never have the same show week after week. This show has always been about you guys, the fans, and it will always stay that way. This train wreck is for you guys, and for some reason,
it's fun.
For some reason, you guys just sit here and watch us all the time. I don't know why. I mean, I understand why you guys watch that guy because he's a pretty man. Me, not so much.
Dude, I have changed a lot since we've done this show.
Have you? You're still a pretty man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, y'all. It's time for us to go.
Hey, tune into football this weekend. Friday nights. 7:00 on Fox.
Don't let me down. Hey, shout out to Abdul Beecher, man. Hey, best to you, man. We're gonna miss you in St. Louis, man.
No, not really. We're not. We're really not.
Really?
No.
You being that evil toward him?
Yeah, we're not gonna miss him. Why would we?
Abdul, don't they watch? They watch the players watch the show too, man.
But why would we miss him?
Because he's not playing. He's out.
Okay, he's hurt. That sucks.
You're evil, man.
I mean, I feel bad that he's hurt.
Good night, Joker.